Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining us today. Welcome to our monthly webinar. My name is Brandon Savage, and we are VOZIQ AI. Today, the focus of our webinar is on transforming pest control business growth using AI, along with our theme over the last month or two. So we'll kick off by doing introductions of our panelists. As I said, my name is Brandon. I have spent over 2 decades in operations and technology within recurring revenue subscription-based companies. In fact, the very first company I worked for had broken off from a pest control company and then started to sell home security systems. I'm excited to be here today. I'll have our next 2 panelists introduce themselves as well. Vasu.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Vasu Akula. I lead our data science team. Essentially, the way we work is as an extension of your team. We bring data science skill from implementing these solutions for a long time. And I bring about more than 2 decades of experience in implementing AI-driven solutions, data-driven solutions, and ultimately impacting your enterprise value by various use cases we're going to be talking about later today. Doug?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Doug Shapiro. I'm the Chief Sales Officer with about 35 years of experience in customer relationship and retention management. And I'm excited to share our vision, what we've accomplished, and our great success amongst our customers. And we have some exciting things to share with you today.
Terrific. Thanks. So last month, I shared some of the key findings from the Pest Management Professional State of the Industry report for 2024. 200 plus pest management professionals were surveyed and indicated the need for driving growth while managing costs would be a primary challenge for this year. And I imagine if you're watching this, you're more than halfway. We're closing up the last quarter. We're just about to start that last quarter, that you have seen those challenges. As these professionals shared their forecast for revenue growth and indicated their perceived top opportunities for this year, they identified a need to increase referrals, increase repeat business, improve customer retention, and upsell services. All 4 of these opportunities can be supercharged through our solution and are part of our AI-driven growth playbook for the pest control industry. This playbook is based upon our successful implementations and partnerships we've established within this industry and other similar industries. We've been able to deliver over $750 million of customer lifetime value to our partners by leveraging AI and machine learning to provide actionable customer-level predictions for proactive strategies. We've been able to prove AI use is a legitimate use case for breakthrough growth across all aspects of the customer lifecycle. And we've been able to deliver AI as a service side by side with our AI Center of Excellence, acting as a strategic partner for implementation and continual operationalization. So if you're in the pest control industry and you'll be at Pest World next month, we would love to have a slice of your time to meet in person and explore how our solution can help and take your business to take full advantage of the opportunities that await you as you close out 2024 and you look forward to 2025. So with that, I'll turn it over to Vasu to walk you through our main event for today.
Thank you again for joining. I want to start off before we jump into the demo part, which will be different. Unlike storytelling, we are going to actually look at how the solution looks like, maybe a little bit of behind the scenes, how the whole thing works. Before we go there, I wanted to start off with this quote from McKinsey, which says, companies that excel at personalization generate 40% more revenue than average players. Now, you may have seen variations of these quotes. I love this quote because, first of all, 40%, when you think of subscription businesses, this value is much more higher because once you increase, with AI-driven personalization, scenarios and things like that, once you increase the value, it's month after month after month, you generate higher revenue. And even better, there's no additional cost deployed on acquiring these customers, right? These customers are already with you, whether you retain them longer and generate more money through personalization, whether you are surgical in your price increase strategies and find the right customers, or when you upgrade these customers, or when you acquire additional customers through AI-driven lead scoring, reacquisition, many use cases that we can talk about. The value is on the scale of tens of millions of dollars, and that's the story I'm going to share later today. So keep in mind, the story we are going to be talking about is extreme high value. Usually our customers that we work with are C-level leaders, board level leaders, and they love these strategies, and we would love to deploy these ideas for you, right? So with that as the background, now, how does our solution look like at a high level, right? We have been doing this, as Brandon mentioned, for more than a decade. These days, everyone is talking about AI, but fortunately for us, we have started working on these technologies for a very long time, more than 10 years now. And what we have done over the years is we mined a lot of subscription customer data, in particular, home subscription customer data. These are pest control companies. These are home security companies, home warranty companies, telecom companies. All of them have unique attributes in terms of lifetime value optimization, understanding the expectations and behaviors of customers who live in certain neighborhoods, right? So we mined all of that information. We have connections with IRS and census data as attributes of our models. So that's our first layer. Second layer is when we bring in home itself, right? In fact, we think of home itself is the customer, not the person who lives. We have additional property values, big lot, small lot, which is very important for pest control companies on deploying their value proposition, inside service, outside service, all these types of things, right? We have all of that information in our predefined database. Now what we do, and this is why we can deploy quick value to you, is all of this is already prepackaged, and all these scores are readily available in our cloud. And we work with you, and we bring in your account-specific data. This is your payment history, your particular service, your particular contract, your particular tenure of this particular customer. So once we plug in this type of thing, the solution is ready to go, often on the scale of a couple of weeks, right? So that's how we are able to quickly deliver extremely large value, but relatively very quick. Now, how does this work in reality? The screen has two sides. On the left side, we are talking about specific data sources. This is billing history, service history. If you have a mobile app, it's app usage, location, and things like that. These are already pre-identified. And then we bring in third-party data, like home-related attributes. We're plugged into Google, so we bring all of that data for you. We're even plugged into weather. So these mouses and cockroaches, they thrive in specific weather. As a weather pest management professional, you know that better than us. But we have plugged into all of those data sources and made our models very tailored to your particular industry, right? Now, what do we do with all of this data? The first thing that we do is deep understanding of what is the value of this particular customer compared to the rest of your customers, right? So this is not cohort level analysis. We take subscription number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll be able to precisely say that is a $2,000 value customer, and compare that with another $500 value, right? Now the question is, how do we turn $500 into $2,000? I'll give you specific ideas on how we do that, right? So that's the first basic enablement. And then we will score every single subscription that you have on propensity to cancel, right? If your average attrition is 40%, 30%, 50%, we will be able to identify customers who are likely to churn at 80% or 8%, right? We'll create a big spread and not treat every customer as the same thing. Now we know the value of the customer, and we know the propensity to cancel, right? We even have additional models based on our neighborhood attributes, your account-specific attributes. If we increase the price, which is a necessity these days to counter against the increasing prices, inflation, all of that, right? which customers are likely to tolerate that price increase and absorb that price increase, and which one might respond in an adverse way and maybe go to the level of cancellation and switching to your competition, right? There are many other predictive models that come prepackaged, ready to be customized with your specific data, and these models will be 100% tailored to your business needs. They're pre-built, but they will be completely customized relatively quickly within a couple of weeks to your business specific needs, right? Additional models are lead scoring, non-pay, upgrades, depending on your scenarios. We work with you and deploy these scenarios step by step and deliver this big value that we are talking about, right? So now let's, in fact, I didn't share the screen, but this is the screen that I was talking about, the data sources and the predictive models, right? So in the life cycle of the customer, this now nicely aligns with either getting the customers at the lowest cost possible, or keeping the customers and increasing the lifetime of those customers, or growing revenue from these customers, right? And the use cases look like, for keeping the customers, we can help you with predictive retention, non-pay, NPS, all of that. For growing the customers or revenue from the customers, we can help you with price increase, upgrades, referrals, all of that. Or to acquire customers, whether it is brand new customers or even your canceled customers, with AI-driven strategies and our technology, the way it works, we can help you identify which of your previously canceled customers can be reacquired, right? Now, ultimately, when you implement these technologies, like what do you get? Either higher lifetime value or lower acquisition cost. When you combine that, enterprise value increases. And that's why, when we work with our senior leaders, chief operating officers, chief marketing officers, chief finance officers, or board level leaders, we're quickly aligning, from their, 3-year, 5-year long-term strategic goals. And they all want AI to be deployed, and we are happy to share that we can deploy this technology within, on the scale of weeks, right? So with that as the background, let me jump into the demo. So what we are seeing here, Brandon, you are still seeing my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. What we are seeing here is the solution, right? When we log into the solution, of course, on the left side, you see multiple use cases. One thing I mentioned earlier, we actually see the home as the customer. Now, let me spend a few minutes talking about the first home, right? So these are all your customers, whether you have 100,000 customers or 500,000 customers, right? So the first thing that we are doing is we are identifying this is likely to attrit at 80% unless we do something proactive about it. The remaining lifetime value, or CLV, remaining CLV of this customer, if we don't do anything, is $300, right? That's very low. Now compare that with the next home. Here we are predicting the attrition to be 23% as opposed to 80% a year. And we are also assigning a remaining lifetime value of more than $1,000, right? And so while that is the outcome, right, it's actually identifying, how it arrived at these lifetime value calculations, attrition calculations with 6 more important variables. There are a ton of variables behind the scenes, but agents will be able to quickly say, oh, I'm speaking with an out of contract customer. Oh, this customer is paying, above average compared to the same service that others are getting. This particular home is located in a generally high attrition neighborhood compared to another home that might be located at a low attrition neighborhood. This customer, yes, the positive is, we did some inside services as opposed to other customers, may not have inside services, right? So it will quickly adapt to your specific business needs. In this case, it is adapting to pest control specific business needs. And it is using these attributes and many other behind the scenes variables to assign these types of scores, right? Now the question is, knowing that, we have a customer with extremely high likelihood to cancel and extremely low lifetime value, we want to turn that into higher value, right? So that's where the rest of the operational aspect of VOZIQ solution, which comes with predictive, offer management, I will walk through how that whole thing works, right? So when we are speaking with a particular customer, of course, we, give you the scores for every customer. give the lifestyle of the customer with all these attributes that are connected with, Google and Zillow and all of that. I actually like this part for pest control, right? Because it gives agents, talking points and resell the value proposition. We generally hear more about mosquitoes and rodents and whatever is happening, and this is all live information. The system pulls all of this information from your CRM systems and nicely gives a little word cloud, which will look completely different when you're talking with a Florida customer versus a Seattle, Washington customer, right? Because what bothers these customers in those areas is completely different, right? And it also completely different in a summer month when you see this word cloud and a winter month. So this is responsive and feeds information as it happens. Why are customers calling? What is it that is bothering them, right? So what these three panels will allow your agents to do is change the conversation. Instead of having the same discussion with every single customer, these are personalized discussions, right? Like what McKinsey is saying, when you apply personalization with scores, with what is happening, with their price, with their specific attributes, you will make it highly relevant for your customers and increase your chances of retaining them, right? So that's the basic information. And all these things, we call them health indicators that explain even more why the customer is falling into this particular high risk category. But now from operations point of view, the way it works is this is our other predictive model that is now constantly looking for which offer is likely going to work for this particular customer compared to another customer based on, exactly like how YouTube is recommending, based on your preferences or similar customers, you might like to watch these videos, or how Netflix is recommending, or even how Amazon is recommending. We're using exact same technology, but on your specific business use case, right? So in this case, agent understands all of this, engages the customer in discussion. And let's say, now we are talking about, let me just reset this. We are taking an inbound call, and I made an offer, we can keep the price the same, for a 12-month renewal as a way to risk mitigate this particular customer and turn this high-risk customer into a low-risk customer. But let's say that customer rejected that. Now we can give another offer. Maybe this customer is already paying above market price for this. Why don't I give a whopping $20 per month or a $240 per year discount, assuming the business rules agree to that? And let's say if the customer accepted that, right? So now we are renewing this, and the likelihood of cancellation goes down significantly, and the lifetime value of this customer increases from $300 before this conversation to $2,000 after this conversation, right? So this is how the system kind of constantly applies these offers and retains these customers. And even when the customer declines this, right, we have a way of understanding, hey, these offers are not working. So we need to be, tweaking these offers and constantly improving these offers. So AI constantly learns based on which offers are being accepted, which offers are being declined, and which customers are accepting these things, right? So this is a highly intelligent system that gets better and better over a period of time. Right. So hopefully I'm kind of explaining to you, and it makes sense on how you can apply this AI technology for your particular use case. And this is how the conversation for a given customer looks like. Now you can reimagine that on many different scenarios for different customers. These offers are going to be tailor-made to those specific customers through AI, not manual intervention, right? But let me explain to you a little bit behind the scenes, like how we arrive at operationalizing this by looking at the bigger picture, right? In this case, I'm looking at 100,000 customers, right? So if your company has 500,000, do the math the same way. Or if you have like 50,000 customers, do the math the same way. What this is saying is, let's say we have 100,000 customers, maybe each of them paying $50 per month or $600 per year. What we are doing is, and let's say this business is having an attrition, for simple math, 50%, right? So what this immediately is doing is classifying about 1/3 of these customers, or 35,000, into high risk. But this system is saying now that segment of high risk customers, instead of canceling at 50%, they're predicted to cancel at 75%. right? And another 35,000 customers are now predicted to cancel at 20% attrition, right? Even more interesting, when we look at their revenue loss, while 50% attrition on $600 ARPU is translating into $30 million of revenue, high-risk customers, because their attrition is high, and probably one of the factors is also the price, we're actually losing more than 50% of the total revenue just from this high-risk pool, right? And this is where putting a lot of effort on high-risk customers and working on them, because they're not yet saying, I want to cancel. This is our predictive, proactive opportunity to get in front of them, give these offers like what I showed you earlier. And even if they decline, you have a second shot. Even if they decline, you have a third shot, right? Because the customer is not yet saying, I want to cancel. We are sensing through AI signals. It's like weather prediction, right? The hurricane is coming, but it's not here yet, right? So that means like you can prepare, you can approach, you can provide various ways to address that, right? And the way we develop these strategies when we work with our customers is take all these customers, right? So this is the same 100,000 customers. Now I like this view because this is organizing customers from left to right, from highest risk. This 320 customers are predicted to cancel according to the system at 86%. And now this 610 at 65%, and this 600 at 24%. As you go to the right, it's lower attrition and lower attrition. Now the question is, how do we take these 320 customers predicted to cancel at 86 and turn them into, I don't know, something like this at 24% attrition with very, very low cost, right? So that's how the solution works. And I want to show one last thing about how much work is already gone into this thing by understanding tens of millions of subscription customers, very similar to the types of customers that you have, by mining the expectations of customers who live in this area versus in this area versus in this area, right? So in this case, we have 10,000 customers who live in the state of California, 45% predicted attrition. In the bordering state, another 10% higher attrition. What I like is when we go deeper into zip code level, the attrition characteristics are, tailored to those particular zip codes. And if we go all the way down to the street level, each home that we clearly can identify, 65% attrition home. By the way, 3 homes next to that, we see a 20% attrition home customer, right? So now many of our customers take this type of insight and put that into their field services, right? And when the service technician goes there to service these homes, maybe the treatment of this home is slightly different from this home. Maybe, there is a door hanger that is left as a loyal customer offers that can be left here, and you don't have to, broad brush and spray, without knowing which customer we are talking about, right? So that's how the solution works. Hopefully this is giving you, ideas about how you can transform your business using all your internal data that is sitting in your CRM systems, in your marketing systems, combined with our external data that we can quickly attach to your data and operationalize a solution that looks like this, right? The solution comes with many pre-identified offer management, agent management, and it includes even other use cases like what I mentioned. We can score your leads and identify which lead is likely to convert, which lead needs which type of offer, right? Or we can help you with NPS. So you understand of all your customers, who are the promoters and who are the detractors. So you can, generate more referrals or even price increase, and not random price increases that trigger, unwanted attrition, but very, very surgical, systematic price increases, right? So that's how the solution works. Happy to organize a call with you, take a sample of your data and demonstrate exactly how this looks like on your own data, right? So with that, maybe let me switch back to the slides and highlight 1 or 2 other things. Okay, yeah. So we just talked about these 4 bullet points, right? Create high resolution risk profile for every customer. We saw the micro segments with various risk levels and potential ways to define these offers based on the expectations of Florida customers versus some other customers based on their neighborhood attributes and account specific attributes. And this is how the solution looks like when you operationalize this whole thing. Now the question is, what is the opportunity, right? Is it in the call center or is it in other ways, right? The best implementations that we have started with 1 or 2 channels, and this is how we recommend implementation of this. You could implement this in your field service. You could implement this in your call center. You can implement this through your email marketing. But ultimately, imagine, right? There's a brain that is thinking about every single customer, identifying risk propensity, price increase tolerance, upgrade propensity, offer acceptance. It is scoring all your customers for all your attributes, right? And then your customers are interacting with you through your call center. You are interacting with them through emails. You could potentially send 1 or 2 direct mails or SMS messages or put this in field. Or if you have a mobile app or a web portal, you can also put it there. So now in a fully implemented system, the customer is seeing the same thing, no matter which channel it goes to, based on risk level, price tolerance, upgrade propensity, referral propensity, all of that, right? So this is why we believe, all this, pre-created solution will quickly deliver tens of millions of value. And these are examples of our real customers who have gone through our system. $30 million of value for Aptiv, $10 million of value for FriendPoint. My favorite case study, $100 million of value for Brinks Home, or even other pest control companies talk about how we are helping them grow their enterprise value or even deliver this value within as little as 90 days, right? We are happy to do this for all of these customers and would love to do this. As Brandon mentioned, would love to stop by if you are going to be at Pest World and further discuss how we can help you. With that, Doug, I'll pass it to you on how to get started.
Okay, great. Thank you, Vasu. So here's how we get started working together. We're offering a no-cost boot camp using enterprise-grade software that Vasu just took you through and showed you, aimed at a specific set of subscription economic use cases. Our boot camp isn't about abstract learning or using pre-baked apps. Our boot camps enable participants like you to tackle the real-world subscription-based use cases and quickly see results using your data. The boot camp will empower thought leaders like you to drive the next level of subscription growth using a proven methodology fueled by VOZIQ AI that will be guided by an experienced team of senior solution experts like Vasu. Very quickly, you'll discover the transformative power using VOZIQ AI with your data. And here's why the boot camps have been so successful. Step 1, we start off with a maturity assessment, whereby we evaluate your mission-critical applications that support your subscription business today. Step 2, we'll then develop your business case and ROI for an AI-led transformation. And step 3 is a quick launch. Our team will consume and analyze your data that will fast-track the process. We're hands-on. We host weekly meetings to ensure the use cases and the results are in line with the success criteria that we co-determine and they meet your expectations. Steps 4 and 5, when the project's approved, there's a seamless transition from a live sandbox to a scaled out production-ready solution. VOZIQ AI comes fully interoperable ready. It's enterprise-grade, tested, proven software that will create transformational change for your organization and answer the big, what are we doing around AI? Here's why the boot camp has been a game changer. We go beyond the pilot exercise by identifying opportunities and gaps by way of a white space analysis exercise. We perform a survival study and create a roadmap for success. You're left with, this is our roadmap, this is the milestones, this is the value we get along the journey. The feedback we get from our business champions is this. They have everything they need to leverage AI to drive transformational change in their organization. They tell us it's because the bootcamp produced a production-ready platform with business applications tailored for our unique use cases, with highly tuned models that is supported by an experienced consulting team that has become a trusted advisor over the course of the engagement. And to ensure your success and to get buy-in from your organization, at the end of the engagement, we come on site, we host a meeting, we present an executive level readout of the results that outlines the top subscription revenue growth opportunity. The executive readout includes a review of the business case, the ROI analysis, and the implementation roadmap. So you know what we did, what the results were, what the journey is, and what you get at the end of the journey. So as we wrap up the webinar today, I'd like to thank you for your time and interest. And we have two offers to share with you. One is this AI-enabled growth strategy bootcamp. It'll provide you insight with your current customer retention programs, supporting processes, technology, and areas for subscription revenue improvement. And finally, for all of you on the webinar today, we're offering a 50% discount for the first year on our software and our services to help you retain your most valuable asset, your customers. So I want to thank you for your time today. Please let us know if you have any questions by way of the chat. And I'm going to hand it back to Brandon to close it up.
If you imagine you were a pest control company back when it was first started, you had 500 customers, you had an office manager who understood every call that came in and every service tech that went out, and they knew the disposition of every single customer. They could tell you which customers probably weren't happy and which loved the service. But as you scale and as you get larger and larger, it's harder to have that type of intimate connection with every single customer. What artificial intelligence and machine learning can do is harness all of those data sources that are coming into your business and help you make decisions on an individual customer basis that will be able to add customers, keep customers, and grow customers and increase your overall customer lifetime value. We're going to be at Pest World next month. If you are going to be there too, we'd love to connect. I've posted my LinkedIn profile in the chat. Feel free to click on that, and I'd love to connect with you and set up a time where we can just meet briefly and talk about what are the problems you're experiencing in these areas, and we could talk about how we might be able to help you. So we look forward to connecting. Thank you for joining us today, and have a wonderful rest of your day and the rest of 2024.